All right, let me know if you can see my screen, guys. All right, perfect. Yeah, so a bit of an overview of the market. Bitcoin today went for another rally um, to 50K. And like before we started this recording, I was talking to Andra that like I nowhere near expected when we were here that we would be going straight to 50K without any major pullbacks except for this like small little retests, it's just been going up. So it's bullish. It's definitely bullish. More and more bullish. I mean, this was also another like this is what Warhead and I were talking about last time is like this triangle here. But it seems like Bitcoin just blew blew through it, and we're still going up. And just the way 50 has been touched, like it's like you would expect it to take a lot more touches, like a lot more of these other resistances before it can get there. But since it's been hit, I think we're gonna still go up a bit more, which and maybe we don't, because we are like pretty overextended. We do get some like bearish divergences on a lot of indicators. We've got pretty low volume. We've got, let's see, where is longs keep, you know, like I don't expect us to go down yet because like you would expect some kind of bull trap or something to happen, but longs have just been going down. So I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of longs to liquidate, but it's not like it's that crazy to go on a massive liquidation hunt. Um, but we can't just keep going up in a straight line, right? So the question really becomes what to do with this current market, because like some people they bought here at the bottom, um, or they bought somewhere in the middle, but a lot of people because of like the bearish market, um, like people are quick to sell stuff, and then to find out, you look back at the charts and things go back up again. You would have expect like when it was just hanging here to like 49K, you would have just expected to kind of, make something of a correction, but it's just going back up. So I've been thinking a lot about what is the best way to go from here, whether you're in a lot of fiat and you're largely out of the market and you're still waiting for that pullback, but at the same time you're not hedged against like this market just continuing its uptrend. Um, I mean, throughout this bull market, we haven't seen like 33 days of just largely up movements. I mean, the longest one was probably here, which was like 94 days, right? But after that, it's all been shorter than like 28, 26 days. So I think in general, I think it's really good news that we're here. I'm like super optimistic about this bull run continuing. Diona posted that interesting little, where was it? Was it in crypto? Little chart about like always be careful because we could be at this phase, this is a bit bigger, the lower high, where we've reached our blow off top euphoria moment, and then we got a bull trap, and then we have a lower high. Um, we could be in this position, but we could also be in like this position that, this whole dump was this bear trap over here, because it's not like we had a full blown how should I say, full blown blow off top. We just hung here, and the way the market's just going back up, it's like, what the hell are we doing? So we can't really go off of anything. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Things are in general good, so what's the best way to manage this? I think it's a good idea um, for, well, let's go through all the different situations. Let's say you're largely out of the market. Let's say you're sitting on a lot of cash and price is just going up, and you're waiting for a big pullback. Um, I don't think we're going to see a big pullback anytime soon. I think we might even go to 55K from here. And if we pull back, it's not going to be worth the wait. Or we could go to 55K and we have our big pullback. And, with big pullback, I mean like Bitcoin dropping like 10, 15%. And we would probably be around the price that we're currently at. So what I would do if you're sitting on a lot of fiat and you don't feel comfortable buying all these alts, I would definitely just buy Bitcoin on every dip that you have. Um, I've been looking at the stock to flow model. Again, it's just a model, but as you can see here, this bottom line is how far we deviate from the model. And right now we're still pretty far below the model. So like according to this model, Bitcoin is right now at a very fair value. Like it's still a great time to buy Bitcoin, right? Um, a- According to the stock to flow model, like 80K should be like the almost the fair value of it. Of course, it's not just the market is not just made out of one model. Um, but Bitcoin is still at a decent price. Yes, it made a 60% run. But remember when we broke through here? If you bought at 50K, that was low because we spent like 75 days in this upper range. So, you know, I would say definitely buy Bitcoin because just in case this market actually does the crazy stuff that can happen in crypto and it just runs away and you're just sitting on a lot of cash, it would be a real shame, right? And the reason why I'm saying like definitely get into Bitcoin is because Bitcoin you can still trade. It is it's better than your shitcoin called fiat, right? And in the end, you can still if it goes down, you know, will you lose 25% of your fiat value? Yeah, it could totally happen. But like the way things are looking, we're gonna bounce right back up, right? And usually Bitcoin makes a bounce back, and then you can put your Bitcoin into these alts again when you feel like the market's going back up again. So if you're not deep enough in, I would say buy Bitcoin on every single dip that you can find, like DCA into it. Perhaps I can make a 3 commas BTC accumulating bot where and I can share it with the group because I think it's really essential. If this market just continues, I think you will be really kicking yourself that you were waiting for a big correction. Um, because yeah, that was here, and all the whales are buying. I mean, it's mainly retail that's buying. I heard like they were talking on Banter about that institutions aren't buying yet, and they had this whole talk about the Golden Cross. Whether institutions are buying or not, like I've completely stopped caring about that part. I'm just looking at price action, and right now it's there's still a probability it's this lower high. It still is, right? So if it does that, then you're in Bitcoin, it's going to be less hard of a fall um, than if you're in fiat, and then you're kind of hedged in both situations, right? Um, so yeah, that's what I would do just for starters, like positioning yourself. Of course, always have some fiat left, don't be completely crazy, but I think it's way smarter to be in more Bitcoin than you should be in fiat, right? And then why do we have the alts? Well, it's because we want to make more than Bitcoin is making us, right? And a lot of these alts have been going absolutely bananas. Axie is just, printed another all-time high just 2 days ago. Okay, yeah, that's when I was away. AVAC's been going crazy. Like a lot of these alts are popping. Today, I think, was it KCS? It's not on here. Let's see. KCS has been going. Like it's just like every other day there's another alt going. Um, and it's kind of difficult to time which alt is going to blow. So I think you should be accumulating the alts you want to hold, and you can do it either with your Bitcoin that you've been also accumulating or your fiat. But like a lot of these, it's like, do you want to buy Rune here? Yeah, it could be that it like goes wild right now, but do you want to buy it here, like after like a 2x, if this dumps, can just easily make like a 50% correction. A lot of these alts, I'm not too trigger happy on buying them. Like, the alts that I also like, I bought Rune over here, but I already sold most of my bag because the market was so bearish and we were expecting a pullback. And I think a lot of people ran into the same issue when I was just getting a feel for everyone. Um, so one thing that might be a good idea, because I think that it's kind of clear that the bull run is back on. Um, so if you are in a certain alt and you want to trade it, what I've been doing is, let's go to, yeah, Trios is a good example here. Like a lot of these coins, it's they're fairly fairly easy to trade actually. But there's one mistake that you can't make, and that's basically selling high, buying back lower, but buying back less. Unless you definitely want to hold more fiat. But I think you should kind of start, like if you want to trade this, like with a lot of alts, basically sell at these resistances and just buy back in on the next fib, especially with these micros, because if you look at it, like these are like 10% corrections a lot of times. I think if we look at Ace over here, like Ace, yeah, here and here, it falls through a support line, so it fell more. This is like a 20% correction. So I think with a lot of these alts, instead of being like worried about where they are going to go, I think it's more important that we actually hold, like we keep holding a lot of these, and we kind of trade as we trend up, and we make sure we buy back in. And you can either do you buy back in more, or you buy back in the same amount at the same money. So then you've locked in your profits, and you're still holding the same amount of the alt that you were holding. Because everybody's been selling their bags, and it's almost like, you know, I mean, I'm just gonna zoom out here. Like, look at this. This is only the beginning. If this bull run is back on, and this thing decides to do, you know, like we've seen the market do crazy things. If this really like goes absolutely wild, if we go into euphoria in the market, imagine if you sold your or most of your bag here, and you think you were trading, like, and then you have that leftover fiat. We're gonna feel sorry for ourselves in the end. So I think it's important, lock in your profits, but buy back into the market. Um, and a lot of these, it's just as simple as just drawing a fib, especially on Qcoin. These have been absolutely like just easy peasy. Um, but yeah, that's just my general strategy right now. Um, Portfolio's still going up, and it's funny, like some they go down, but then there's like always another one that picks it back up for me personally, or it's Bitcoin that continues. Because like one thing that was interesting is like if we look at the index, we were here in Bitcoin season, so we're getting into the red zone where it's a good idea to buy alts, and basically, I mean, it's crazy that in one day, or was this in a couple days? Like in a couple days, we straight went to like basically being even, you know, on the chart here, and then going right back in. So there's a lot of people, I think, who are buying these alts and then putting their profits back into Bitcoin. So it kind of tells me that people are deciding to stay in the market, and we're seeing big people just accumulating a ton of stuff. So I think it's important that when you look at your portfolio, that you should be largely in the market. And if you're scared of a pullback, like apparently last weekend, there was a lot of people who were thinking it was going to pull back. I wasn't at the charts, so I don't have a good opinion on what happened last weekend or what. But if you look at the charts, if you feel afraid, perhaps take profits into Bitcoin, right? Like if you just if you've taken your profits into Bitcoin, Bitcoin just broke 50K, or reached 50K. So I think that's the smarter move right now. If the market has a change of character, then we'll have to adjust that strategy. But right now, your portfolio should be up by quite a bit. That let's say if a real ass correction happens again, like the trauma we all encountered in May, then if you're in Bitcoin and you want to pull out some Bitcoin, then you can do it, and it will have corrected far less, or you will have lost less. As long as you're, now you've made money, and if you lose a bit of money, but in the end you still made a lot more than what you had 33 days ago, you're on the right path, right? Especially if you have more Bitcoin than you did 33 days ago. Because it's been really interesting also with the alts. I had a bunch of alts, but I mainly had more fiat than I had alts. And my portfolio value in Bitcoin has gone down a little bit, although my fiat value has gone up, which is something you kind of expect when the market goes like this, but it just goes to show you how important it is to stay in Bitcoin. And mind you, I'm like 50% of my portfolio was in Bitcoin. I bought a ton of Bitcoin at 30K. So yeah, that would be my general advice for the market right now. I don't know if anybody here has like some takes or experience about what best to do with their portfolios right now, or questions. So who's in here? Oh, we got Berkey. What's up, Berkey? Um, Bearded, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's it's difficult to say what to do. But that's the best solution I can come up with, you know, because I think it's difficult to say what to do because it's difficult to predict what the market is going to do. It's, we could just be continuing traveling upwards, and until we hit a real resistance like 55K or 60K, but you know. the the moon here. Well, yeah, we've got our moon indicator, but our moon, like, that's the thing with indicators. They can kind of give you a percentage based signal that is more right than wrong, but it's still just a signal, right? Because here we had the signal to sell. If you sold here, you kind of shot yourself in the foot. If you sold here, then yeah, we had like a very small correction. But it, like, I bet a lot of people who sold here expected us to go at least to 42K. I expected this, and if you didn't buy back in, then it kind of sucks because you see how it like slowly trickles down, but then it instantly goes up, right? Um, yeah, that's the tricky. That's how the market kind of hustles you out of your position, right? So, hmm? Yeah, no, I mean it's great, but right now, like, like, you can have this moon indicator, right? But we had 33 days of just bullish upward movement. Right now, anything can happen, and I mean, I started this recording saying that, like, I think it's almost more likely that we're gonna continue going up. So according to the moon thing, that has confluence with it, right? Um, like, I don't think we're just gonna fall back down from this 50K level, but we could. I right now it's so hard to tell. I mean, you've got all these indicators like RSI saying we're oversold at all these points. Like over here, we were heavily oversold, and that was over here, right? And then we continued to go another like 11%, make a small pullback, and we've just been oversold for a while. I mean, we're in extreme greed right now, um, and we're still going. Um, so yeah, the greed definitely needs to be reset. You know, a lot of these things need to be reset for it to be healthy. But at the same time, I feel like the price action hasn't been completely unhealthy. Like when we had this pump, like the Elon Musk pump. This was a real unhealthy pump. The way this has been going, you know, it's been kind of reliable. The uptrend, the trend has been really our friend, you know. So it just amazes me how it just keeps going. But that's good, you know, because it means bull market is still on. Um, we never fell through 28K here. I think I think if I look at the honest little chart, we're right now we have renewed optimism almost. Well, yeah, bear trap. Like I think here we have like the greed kicking back in. I think we're at renewed optimism, even though this point is higher than this point. But I think it's also the size of the structure. But as, if this thing continues to decline, it's just going to be more people piling in, and we're just going to go for the moon, hopefully. Um, and that's why I would buy Bitcoin. And like I said, we are right now we're still buying cheap Bitcoin, right? If we're looking at the price, like according to like this is what is this 2025, right? This is in 4 years, guys. If this model is correct, one Bitcoin will be worth $850,000, right? So just just think of that even when you buy Bitcoin, and like I said, buy Bitcoin on every little dip it makes. And I'm gonna make a 3 commas bot that does this a little bit later. But I think it's really important that we're just buying into this. And as we kind of make corrections and make dips, it's just more opportunity to get more cheaper Bitcoin. And then the alt seasons, they will continuously go and come and go as Bitcoin does its thing, right? Right now, I think a lot of people miss these alts. Don't just FOMO into a lot of these alts that, like, you know, BNB is another one. Like, you know, if you buy BNB now, it's a dangerous spot to expose yourself in, you know. The moment was like latest to buy here, right? And when we made this move up, um, but don't feel too bad if you didn't get a certain coin. Your portfolio should just in general be up, and even if you didn't 2x your portfolio, um, you're making profits. So don't get too fearful, uh, and don't get too FOMO. Try to keep your emotions in check, and and yeah, buy Bitcoin. I feel like a lot of people are still hesitant to buy in, um, and that's kind of keeping us like some members from being profitable. And I know it's also like me and Warhead who have been warning for a pullback, but every single time we like Bitcoin has proven us wrong, or like we expected a pullback here and we got one, but we got. I mean, I'm looking at BNB right now, but it kind of mirrors Bitcoin right now. But this pullback was, you know, it was nothing, and it was totally not the amount that we kind of expected it to do based on this previous run. So, um, yeah, if let's say you used that like DCA strategy and you kind of bought in, then you had more Bitcoin here, and then boom, you're back in profits again. Um, so yeah, I think it's important that you don't just sit on your hands anymore. Um, because okay, and here's another thing, right? Let's say we are going to euphoria. We are going to go crazy. We're going to see 150K, 200K Bitcoin, right? That's still a 4x from where we are right now. Or a 3x. I think 150K is pretty reasonable. I mean, um, a lot of countries have not been doing too hot. You know, their currencies are getting absolutely wrecked. Could be in places like Afghanistan, you know, with regime changes like that. People want to safeguard their money. They buy Bitcoin. It's starting to become a trend in all these countries. You know, it's not becoming a unique thing to do anymore. Another country that actually a friend of that I met in Berlin. He's his parents live in Lebanon. He's from Lebanon, and you know where that explosion happened? That crazy explosion that completely ruined the city. His parents were living there, and he had money in a bank account, but since that explosion, the money is just completely wrecked, and the government confiscated his money and everything. So he lost 10,000 euros. If you would have just bought Bitcoin, you know, he would have had that value and more, right? So sometimes when we try to like time the market and try to avoid Bitcoin, you know, or avoid buying into the market, it's like, you know, in the end, we are on a massive uptrend, and more of these countries, as the world kind of destabilizes, more and more people will want to be in this asset because it's much safer than our own government's money. I mean, that's been the narrative for a long while, but now we're actually seeing it happen, right? We're seeing a lot of these countries and in despair, and then the people actually having an option now. And it's, you know, it might not happen to your country. Could be that the dollar is completely fine. You know, a lot of people talk about the dollar collapsing, whatever. I think it's completely a possibility, like completely a possibility, but there's also completely a chance that it doesn't happen because whatever fuckery the US does, you know. Um, but at the same time, you will have other countries around the world, like El Salvador, who make it legal tender, and you want to be along for this ride. So I don't know. I feel like I've been kind of preaching Bitcoin too hard, but um, I just want to say it's time to be in the market, guys. Don't be too hesitant. Make sure you have, you know, a healthy amount of fiat to buy back if we do make a correction, right? But I mean, let's say if you have right now you were afraid to buy back in, you have 40% fiat, and the rest is kind of dispersed. You can allocate maybe 10, 15% of that fiat and basically invest it into constantly DCAing into Bitcoin. Whenever uh, a kind of a correction happens, you know, it buys in. Um, hey, let me show an example that you could automate it with 3 commas, right? Like Rune is one that has been paying me pretty well. Um, but so basically every time Rune goes on a run, like for example, Rune has been going down, and this bot is just buying a bit of Rune as we're going down. It doesn't matter if price is this high, it's just DCAing back in because if we're on this uptrend, every buy-in has been lower than where we eventually go, right? And then I have my take profit set here. This is like cashing back in, but then you can have the bot cash in into Bitcoin, you know, or and that's if you want to have a working bot, you know, you can set a take profit like ridiculously high where it just keeps buying as it goes back down again. Um, so these are all choices you can make, but I think it's right now you can make you're missing I think you're missing a lot of money if you're just sitting on your hands doing nothing. Um, but you can also like lose money if you buy into some of these coins that have pumped so much, you know. Um, so yeah, that's just my general take. I feel like I'm on repeat now. Um, if anybody has another take or another opinion, I would be super happy to hear it. Like I said, I've just been back from a weekend partying in Berlin. um, I haven't been super closely watching, but that's just what I would do from a management point of view of your portfolio, regardless of all the different alts that have been raging. Dash is also just, yeah. Oh, cool. We have Odin in here as well. What's up, Odin? Yeah, what's up, Medicine? I see you unmuted. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, this one. It's difficult to say. Sometimes, um, you can look at some of the Bitcoin charts. Wait, is my purple list? Does this have a couple of? Which one was it? Yeah, this one. Let's look. Um, I mean that's what I mean. Like I haven't been looking enough. Like I at the charts or at all the different coins to give you one. Like this is one I would enter right now. I am not super interested in jumping into too many alts right now. I'm more so interested in Bitcoin, and perhaps the one I haven't talked about is Ethereum. Um, I think Ethereum, is on this road together with Bitcoin, and I think, this is also one we should be accumulating like crazy. I mean, this thing, it could easily pop off again. Um, but yeah, like these shorter term holds, I do think. I mean, if you have your wanted list, I think the more your coin has pumped, the healthier it will be to hold this thing long term. Because if yours is doing better than most of the other alts, like I don't think it's. I mean, how much has this moved? It's also done a 2x. I don't know market cap on this. Still has a lot more room to grow, but like some of these have moved not as much and might be less interesting for where they might go at the end. Actually, Doge might be a good entry. You know, like it's a dumb as dog coin, but you know, according to sentiment, it's going back up, and it could be that it's going to be in the news again. Like so. I can't believe I'm saying Doge might be a good buy. I despise the coin, but um, I mean, in general, I'm more so looking at the micros, and I'm not just buying in at one point like myself. Like I'm just trading these fibs. Um, but I don't really have a coin. Actually, Ace has been on a bit of a pullback. I think this one might be a good idea to scale in again. Like I said, Ace has so much more upside left. Like right now, the market cap is not visible. Let's see, coin market cap. It's only at 5 million. I mean, this thing can still fly. Ooh, and when I posted, and when I posted it, I kind of had a feeling we might have been bottomed out, but I set it at like high risk because it's been on a downtrend, and technically we're still, we have a lower low, lower high. But I have a feeling like Centivit is going to make a serious move one of these days. I think might be time to get back into this one. I mean, right now it's testing the support, and yeah, it doesn't have a USD chart that we can look at right now, but this coin, it's explosive, like with the Bitcoin pair. Like if I wasn't in Berlin, here I 2x'd almost my Bitcoin that I invested into it, and it was a decent amount. I didn't set a sell. Um, but yeah, this one I think is interesting to go into. Um, and yeah, this coming week I'm gonna look back more at more coins and post more to our watch list. But right now I just haven't had enough time to really recommend you any alts. And like I said, like most of the alts, like they've popped, and might be that people are just taking profits into Bitcoin. I mean, is Luna gonna go for another leg up? possibly. Um, but could we see like a correction and retest its previous all-time high? I think that's just as likely, right? Um, so yeah, that's just my general feel. I mean, another one I've been kind of waiting to pop more is KSM. This one I've got a bot running, kind of hoping this one goes bananas, but volume has been a bit sporadic. Yeah, difficult to say. But yeah, definitely buy Bitcoin. Just DCA into it. And I would say do the same for Ethereum. And and then you'll buy back into other alts when there's a good buying opportunity again, when we dip or not, but be in the market. I wish Warhead would be here to give his opinion. I think he's still out. So yeah, anybody got any more questions? Hot takes? Or want me to perhaps look at a coin? Like if you have a coin that you're interested in? Oh, okay. Damn. Well, yeah. This one is complete gamble. It could be that we're flying for the stars. Could totally be. Wait, let's see. Ergo. All right. Interesting. What market cap? Oh my God, $500 million. It's not on a lot of exchanges yet. It's on Qcoin and Gate. I mean, I don't think it's a good time to buy at all. It's just like that's how I feel with a lot of alts. It's not a good time to buy. Yes, it could be that it goes up. It does another 2x. Could also be that it doesn't. Um, right now, you know, it's been at this price point, like higher than this price point before. Who knows? It might get there. But I don't think it's yeah, I don't think it's super interesting to buy. Um, that's again why I'm resorting to the Bitcoin strategy. Oh, actually one that um like AR is looking at, and I completely agree with him, is Mirror Protocol, which is Luna's little brother or sister. Um, and this thing has a lot of upside left compared to its previous all-time high. Let's see what market cap we're at right now. Like this is 200 mil lower than ERG, and has a lot more historical price action, more consistent price action to go off on. And this looks like a healthy uptrend. This could be the test of this line, of this resistance. Could be that we fall over here, but I do see Mir making a move, and yeah, I think this one is one to keep an eye out for. Um, should perhaps add this one to the watch list. So Mir, um, actually, speaking of, what's up with Anchor? God, this one, this is such weird price action. Yeah, this one could easily 2x again. Yeah. Check the market cap. This one is in the same space as Mir, market cap wise. So Anchor Protocol, Mir. These are two interesting coins. And Centivit too. I think Centivit is the most interesting because out of, like, you saw, those were like 300 mil market caps, but they are run by more established. I mean, Terra Labs is much more established than Centifit, but Centifit is, you know, if Centifit does a 10x of its market cap, then it's at the market cap of an Anchor protocol or a mirror. So yeah, um, delicate balance, perhaps. Oh yeah, one. Like I think Trias is looking really good because you know, everybody's kind of holding this one. I think this is a key level right now. I hope it kind of flips $10 here into support, and I think it's doing it right now. But yeah, this thing, what market cap are we at now? Oh man, it's still only 16K. Like, this coin, I expect great things, and perhaps just like with Bitcoin, scale into Trias if you haven't already. I'm right now I'm at 1,000 Trias. When it makes another move up and it makes a correction, I'm gonna be selling and buying the same 1,000 or 1,100 Trias depending on how big the small correction is, right back in. Like, I'm just getting more of this as it trends up. I think this is an important one to look for. So yeah, any more coins anybody got? Want to check out? Oh, break room chat. Let's see. Oh, Berkey. All right, Link. How's Link doing? Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't checked the chart. Week. Oh, that's not Link. I was like, what the fuck? What is Link? Lena. Yeah, Link is looking also. I've honestly I've been disappointed a little bit with its performance, but Link is one that I think it might be a big sleeper because I feel like Link underperformed this entire bull run, and it's almost like it's just wanting to make people like not be interested in it, and then it's just gonna go on a face melter. I don't know. I perhaps I wish I had Coach in here because he is more of a he follows the stuff a lot more on Twitter and stuff. Um, but yeah, I would be interested to know where this thing goes. But I think Link is still also at a good buying price. Um, you know, or at least if you want to scale in a little bit. If you're in a position in a long or whatever, and you want to just keep it open, I would keep it open. I think it's looking really good. Except for this, kind of lower high that we had here briefly, but we just branded at a higher low. So unless Bitcoin does something stupid, I think Link is looking pretty juicy. Yeah, yeah, it's a good coin. TRB, I think Jackie was talking about. This is also a really interesting coin because like price action on this has been insane. Like, it's just maybe for a grid bot, maybe I get a DCA on this one as well. Um, but TRB is another interesting one, in my opinion. Any more coins anybody got going, or any interesting finds? Nope. All right. Then yeah, it's kind of a small condensed hangout. Oh, Medicine, you got something? Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I I I mean, I do believe, like, I mean, it depends how much you wanna like or believe in Binance, even though there's like, they're being regulated and controlled up the wazoo. I think everybody should own some BNB just because of the utility of it, and I think its value is only gonna go up. I bought quite a bit of BNB at $300. So, but yeah, right now it's gone up, and actually made the mistake of BNB because I sold over here. I sold, I think, 3 BNB, not that much, but decent amount. But then I was, you know, too stupid to buy back in. Like if I would have, it's based on FIPS, and this is something like, yeah, I should have just set a buy order on the next FIP. Like, no, I would have had my BNB back, and then that 3 BNB would be, that's $1,200. Not that crazy, but 25% on $1,200. It's just things we gotta learn from our mistakes here. So yeah, that's another good example. But yeah, I think BNB has been insane. I remember I bought BNB over here back in January. I remember I think it was at $16 even. Or no, it was so low, but I just didn't buy enough, and then when it went up, I was like, oh, it's gone up to $129, so it's too expensive. And then it did this move, and this move, like this coin just keeps wrecking it, and it's also one of these coins where you expect it to pull back, and it just doesn't until it goes absolutely parabolic. And speaking of parabolic, if you look at this, you compare it to Luna. I think Luna might do a little bit of that BNB action where right now we're doing this for a while, so probably at this level. So if anybody is looking to get back into Luna, because a lot of people miss this coin, then I think $22 is a really nice price point to get back in. Because yeah, like Coach calls Luna a Chad, Luna's an absolute Chad. So yeah, but yeah, it could be that this was a temporary blow off top for Luna. Looks a little bit like it, but it could also, yeah. Regardless, oh. Yeah, Link is actually, I might buy some Link or DCA some into that. Morpheus, yeah, Mitex. Let's actually, what market cap is Morpheus at right now? 22K. See, and okay, and here's another thing, especially about the micros. Right now, you might feel a little bit like, oh my God, I bought these micros, whatever. And then you look at, if you look at a Luna chart, right? If you look at this chart, that, oh my God, I wish I bought this. Then, let's go to, let's filter these. This is my red list is my worst list. Then if you look at tries, this looks like, nothing. But if you then look at like how much, this is a 2x. Luna did what was it, 4x? Yeah, okay, 6x. Poof. Yeah, absolute Chad. But that's like the best alt that we've seen, And if we compare it to like these micros, it's almost like these major alts are outperforming the micros, which is true. But I think in the long run, and that's kind of the play I'm hedging on, because I'm still looking to accumulate more of these micros like Centivit, like Trias, and whatever new that comes in, and like Morpheus. Morpheus is actually one I used to hold, and perhaps should look to scale back in, because these things, once they go up to their previous all-time highs or where they can go simply because of the small market cap, I mean, the sky's the limit on a lot of these. Whereas with these major alts, there's less of a upside. But yeah, and also like it takes a while for money from BTC to flow into ETH, to flow into the major alts, to then flow into the lower alts, to then go into the micros. So it always takes time. Could be that we see a little micro run. I mean, I could totally see Bitcoin basically go up to 55k, 60k, and that's where the micros are gonna start popping really hard because it always micros always lag behind, which makes them a joy to trade because you can feel it coming, right? Even if you didn't buy back in over here or here with Trias, $10, you know if the micros are starting to get fed, I mean, I think it's gonna surprise a lot of people what firepower they still have left. I mean, probably. I mean, if you look at VRA, it's probably can make this kind of move. Try as if it does something like VRA has. Which, speaking of, VRA has made a really nice recovery. So what I wanted to show with VRA is that like VRA is a little bit of a larger coin, like it's 10 times larger than Trias, and you can see it's made a lot more of a recovery. So it seems like the larger the market cap, the closer to recovering where they were like pre-May nuclear fallout, right? So it just takes a little bit more time for these smaller caps to um, reaccumulate, which gives you a bit more of a predictive thing to scale in. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Um, yeah. Mm, Anybody else got any takes? Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this thing up for today. And hopefully when the warhead is back, we can do another hangout in 2 days or so. Odin is typing. Ah, my pleasure, Odin. My pleasure. Take care, Medicine. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'll be uploading this to the YouTube channels, and hopefully we can keep doing this. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye bye.